Now you see the problem, as I stated, and the activity so far seems all kind of artificial. Who cares about? I made up a problem. Right? So just to push it further, probably to real life, I usually like to think about this problem in context of being a manager, and we will try to play this game for some time, imagining that you are a manager, and you have a small company, and your small company takes care of grass on stadiums, and all you have to do is replace grass there, and the stadiums are rectangles, and in order to do the work, you have to order grass to do the replacement, right? And you have to order grass in square feet, probably, or something. So you have to provide a number. Now, how do you know how much to order?
You have to measure the thing.
You have to measure. So now you have to take your time and imagine you are the manager. A manager. Do you know what the manager is going to do? He's going to have a comfortable chair. Not this comfortable, but much more comfortable. Large table, an office. He's sitting there, doing important work, and now he has to, well, you have to write down that number. So are you going to give up on this comfortable chair, take a ruler, go to the field, and do the measurement? No. No way, right? So what do you do?
Have someone go measure it for you.
Sure. There are employees to do that, right? So you have John working for you, and you have Jim working for you. And you send John to measure length, you send Jim to measure height, and they come to you and they give you numbers, right? And the rest is easy stuff, right? That's what a manager do. So John gives you a number, 347, and Jim gives you a number, 162. And then what do you do? So you take a calculator, multiply these numbers together, and your work is to multiply 347 by 162, get a number, and put it into the order. Is that what you do?
When you get the number, they usually just round it up to the next.
So you want to round these numbers?
And say get 350 by 165 or something like that. With this small amount of error.
So do you think John haven't rounded already? Because there was something. It was 346 probably, 0.736, and he already rounded to 347. And Jim rounded already because it was 162.078. Do you want to round more? How would you like to round? Will this go to 300? Is that how you round? Or to 400? Will that go to 200? Or 160? Or 170? Would you like to order less? Or more?
More.
How much more?
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit. How little is a little?
Add 3 to each.
Add what?
3 units to each.
3 units to each? Why 3?
It just seems like a better number.
Better number? So are we doing any mathematics here, or so? Is there any science behind it? Like tossing a coin, choosing a number, claiming it's a better number? So what is it that you worry about? Why don't you just multiply and give that number?
It's because you can have Too little or too much.
Because there could have been errors there. So those two people could have made errors. What do you know about those errors? Maybe nothing. But this is exactly where, in my point of view, the job of a manager begins. You should know what the possible errors are on the first place. So when you have two people working for you, what you should know at the very beginning is proficiency of those. And you should know that John can measure with the accuracy 0.3 units, and Jim can measure with accuracy 0.5. Right? Because Jim is young and fast, but makes errors. Okay? So of course, when you hire those people, you test them, and then once you know how accurately they can measure, then you send them. But now, you see, there is something mathematics suggests. It suggests that it matters how you send them. Whether you send John to measure length, or you send Jim to measure length. Doesn't it matter? Oh, it does. All right, so once you know which one is more accurate, you should send that one to measure the more important number, and the other one to measure less important number. And okay, well, that is sort of done. But then we come back in time to the time when you hire those people. So if you know in advance that the job is to measure length and height of stadiums, and all of them are sort of twice as long as they are wide. Right? Sort of the same proportion for all the stadiums. So that means you'll have to work with sort of the same formula all the time. Is there anything you can do about hiring those people? Because you see, I think the work of manager is not about doing things. That's exactly why he hires people, to do things. His work is about planning things. And that involves a lot of thinking and a lot of mathematics sometimes. So if you want to hire people, you hire two people, and do you hire the two best people? Is that what you do? Well, yes, if you have enough money, right? But in practice, you probably don't want to hire two best because you just don't have enough resources. Because those two best people, they want salary proportional or inverse proportional to their possible errors, right? So, well, let's do an extreme situation when you know in advance that all the stadiums are going to be like that. Because in that case, we can probably make specific decisions about how to hire people, right? Because for stadiums like this, we know now that one of the values is going to be much, much more important, right? The height is going to be much more important. So what does that mean?
You want someone who can get better accuracy at measuring.
You want someone who is really good, like really, really good. But then you can save money on hiring the second, who can be kind of lousy. Not totally, right? But I mean, that measurement is going to be multiplied by a small, relatively small number, influencing the result by not as much. So this is where you can save money for the company. So you see where the thinking of manager begins? It begins way before you start doing the company, start hiring people, and so getting the office chair and the rest is one of the last things for the manager. And now you can imagine growing firm, right? The growing company. Because once you succeeded in measuring rectangular stadiums, what do you do? You get promoted, right? Don't you get promoted? And as you get promoted, what do you do? Well, of course, you get bigger office, bigger chair, better table, but what else? More people, right? So now you have to build a bigger team, a team of 6 people, and they do some work, and the outcome of their work, so what you have is 6 people, A, B, C, D, E, F, and the outcome of their work is probably a function, right? Because you collect information from those, some numbers from each of them, and then you put all these numbers in a bigger formula, F, a function of all those, A, B, all the way to F, right? And then, well, you probably know what the formula is, approximately. And then what? What do you do with that formula? This is what you do. You think about possible errors that every single person can make. You think about the influence of that error on the final outcome. And you think about the importance of each of those people. And then you look back at those people and you think, well, whom you have to replace or whom you have to send to take a class at university probably to become better at what he does. So that's the, well, just one example of application of multivariable calculus on one place to something like, well, to me it sounds like a project that I mentioned before. Something, well, you may try to do on your own. Setting up a problem, well, the way you like it. And then figuring out something interesting about it.